Hey, what's up? It's Sifu Kuttel, and I have here the Swallowtail Battalion Spearhead made by LK Chen. It is a one-to-one reproduction of an existing antique from all the way back in the Han Dynasty over 2,000 years ago. Traditionally, these would have been carried by the battalion or foot soldiers, and they would have been mounted on a hardwood or a bamboo composite pole that was wrapped with string and then lacquered over for high durability, and they were up to 3 to 4 meters long. However, I've mounted mine on a beech wood pole that's just over 2 meters long, so I really want to test this one out. We're going to take a look at its ability to pierce, plunge, and its accuracy. Now, the smaller spearhead was used for longer spears. These were probably, the soldiers were lined up side by side, shoulder to shoulder, so they were specifically working with thrusting and with very long poles to keep from weighing it down, and to keep accuracy, smaller spearheads were used. So let's go test this one out. First up, we're going to do the plunge test. I'm basically going to be dropping the spear from about 20 centimeters above the target, and we're just going to see how far it can plunge into the target by the weight of the spear and gravity powering this. Wow, that was actually more than I expected. This went in 4.5 centimeters, which is half the amount of the spearhead length. That was quite impressive. That was just with a drop, and that was with the power of gravity. So now let's see how it works when it has the power of a person behind it. For the piercing test, we're going to use the target now in a freestanding position. There is nothing backing it up, so I have just as much of a chance as batting this away as I do to actually pierce the target, and hopefully we'll be able to see how deep I can pierce it with a basic spear thrust technique. Okay, looks like we stuck it in. Now, because it's a little bit of an angle, I've got 1.5 centimeter on one side and 1 3/4 on the other. We'll say about 1.5, which is left. So out of a 9 centimeter blade edge, we were able to pierce it 7.5 centimeters. So that's quite a bit for this one. Just from a freestanding target, you can see what's left of how much went in. This would definitely be a lethal pierce, and this is with a target that has no resistance. Even a human standing, having the weight on the ground, once this would pierce through, there's going to be some resistance against it. It's not just free and moving back like this light target. Now there's one more test that I want to put this through. We're going to look at the accuracy of this spear. For this final test, I'm going to be trying to hit this thin skewer with the spear. Now, obviously, I doubt I'm going to have any perfect hits, but I still want to see how close and accurate I can get to this. So I'm going to be aiming for just this little sliver of space, and we'll see how well the tip control is and how consistent it is. Remember, when it comes to having the spearhead at the end of a spear, the weight, the shape, of course, the weight of the spear pole will all have an effect on the accuracy of this. So I want to see how well I can control it with a small spearhead on a long pole. All right, here we go. Okay, so as you can see, this thing is super thin, so it is very difficult to hit, but I stayed within a good proximity of that little skewer. So to me, I feel like I had good consistency. Now, of course, there's always going to be one that goes a little bit off, and that just comes down to human error. But I feel that most of the time I was in control of this spear, and like I said, very close to that skewer each time. So I feel like this one has a good amount of control, and I think it all comes down to this being a fairly light spearhead. Now, of course, on a longer pole, that's going to be different dynamics, but for mounting it on a pole that works for me and my martial arts training, I think this is an excellent spearhead, a wonderful one by LK Chen. Again, this is the Battalion Han Dynasty Swallowtail Spear, and it has its name from the shape of the socket. It actually makes like a little swallowtail, so that's where this one gets its name. But excellent technology from over 2,000 years ago. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next.